call to order. But I'm not seeing our applicant here at the moment, so I think
is it necessary for the applicant to be here?
it's always good to have them, just in case you have some questions about their application.
I understand that, but is it necessary for us to approve it? Or
not necessarily. I mean, it's not specifically required. I have in the past dealt with cases that the applicant didn't show up. As I said, if there is a question that I can't answer, then it does make it more difficult.
No, I understand.
So, oh, we see Dennis now.
I found it. Okay.
So, as you are all aware, we have two new members. I believe it's John Thermos. You're on mute, John.
Tim, you also have someone else joining us that may be your applicant, John Lineau.
Yes.
Okay, I think he's trying to join now.
Perfect. And then the other new member is John Witherspoon. Both were appointed to fill the seats of Elise Richardson and Scott Riddell. So, Mr. Lineau?
His microphone is not on. He's. I think he can hear us. Probably.
He's working on it.
He can hear us and see us, Tim, but I'm not sure. I don't think he can talk to us.
Okay.
Mr. Linnell, if you're there, you can also tap your screen, and you should see a little microphone where you can turn your audio on and off, and then a little camera where you can turn your video on and off. I'm hoping you're hearing this.
I just sent him a message in the chat. I'm hoping he gets it.
Okay. Are we ready to start the meeting?
All right, we can, if you would like. I was just hoping that we would have confirmation from the applicant that they're ready to go.
Okay.
Hello. Looks like he's ready to go, Tim. I believe he's on the phone, so I think he can hear us. Mr. Linnell, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, I will turn this over to Dennis to call the meeting to order, and we can get started.
And I'll call the meeting to order. First on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Okay. Are there any additions or subtractions?
I don't have any problems with them. I'll move that we approve them.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Was that John Witherspoon?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we only have 3 board members then, right?
We have 3 technically that, 3 that were here for that meeting. I believe that for it to work properly, that the two board members who were not here, the new ones, technically shouldn't vote on it because you didn't participate in it. So
Right.
Maybe we get a second from either probably Mr. Lawson.
Yes, I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we can vote.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Well, Lionel, aye. Me, aye.
Aye.
Don, aye.
Aye.
Yep. Pass 3-0.
All right.
Perfect.
There's no-
It
yeah, okay. There's
sorry,
no
there's-
old business.
Correct. And the first item and only item under new business is TMS number 12913120009, 112 Riviera Drive, Zone PUD, Plan Development District, owned by John and Linda Lenow. I'm sorry if I mispronounced
Leno
that.
is good.
Leno.
That's all right.
Excellent.
Leno.
It's a variance request to reduce the required rear yard setback for an accessory structure from 10 feet to 5 feet. This is for ordinance section 2.10. So let me roll through here to the actual. This is a picture of the front showing that we posted the sign. Let's see if I can get this fit the screen. I'm going to go to the staff report real quick. Give real quick background on this. The applicant did approach the town concerning the need for the variance. He had constructed the shed prior and without actually getting a permit for it. And he came in after the fact, and we determined that a variance was needed for this. Staff's position on this is that there are extraordinary conditions. Being a PUD, the lot coverage is already, the location of the shed is pushed into the back just with the placement of the house, then the shallow back rear yard. Other properties in the area do have similar shapes with very shallow rear yards. The property utilization would be reduced but not eliminated due to the existing setbacks and easements. Just an FYI, the engineering department has approved the shed location within that existing drainage easement, and detriment will not be caused to other properties by the issuance of this variance on this property. That is staff's position on that. We can see here the property in question and the shed in the back corner. The easement goes across the back line. I can turn this over to the applicant and allow him to present his case to the board and allow the board to ask any questions.
Okay, please do.
Yeah, good morning or good afternoon, rather. Yeah, I had no idea that my backyard was going to be that small when I bought the home. In fact, I was under the impression when I bought the home that my backyard would be all the way back to the drainage ditch, which is, there's a wetland right behind me. So no one's ever going to build there or anything can be put back there. But I put the shed in there, and then come to find out that no, I didn't have that much yard. And as a stick built, it was a very nice construction. And I'm just asking to have it, approved so I can maintain it there and not have to tear it down.
Mr. Blumenauer.
Yeah.
John Thermos here. Is it on a slab or is it?
No, it's slab. It's like I say, it was built very well. It's on a slab.
So there's no way of, shall we say, moving it?
No way of moving it besides tearing it down.
I have a question. Well, your next door neighbor has a shed in the backyard also, right?
They do.
Yeah, okay. What about the flow of water because of the ditch?
No, we have like I say, drainage ditch, which is probably 15 or 20 feet behind my fence.
Right.
And there's a large holding pond
Right.
You're looking at the backyard to the right of the
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
And I've never had any problem with water. That drainage ditch, I mean, the pond may get some water in on our really hard rains, but it dissipates rather quickly.
Okay. All right, that was my only question, because, you know, the runoff or whatever it is. Okay, it'll flow. All right. Any other questions?
I don't
How
know.
I
long,
don't have,
how long have you lived there to be aware of drainage problems?
This year will be 7 years.
So you were there in the massive storm of what it was about 4 years ago?
Yeah, I was in Aruba at the time, came back into the States thinking, am I going to be able to get to my house? Because I came back on the street Renault before they fixed the drainage back there. And but I was able to get home. And yeah, I was the second house on the street to build.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Can I have a motion?
I would move that we approve the request.
Okay, thank you, Don. Can I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can
Aye.
we have some discussion?
Well, yeah. Go ahead, any discussion?
That comes before voting typically.
Pardon?
So, I mean, that's typically comes before voting.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's discussion amongst ourselves rather than questions. I mean, so I'm new to this board. You know, the way I read the material that Tim sent out, and I read the ordinance as well. This doesn't strictly meet. I'm really not arguing against it, but I'm trying to clarify here. This really doesn't strictly meet the requirements for a variance. One of the requirements is the extraordinary conditions generally do not apply to other property in the vicinity. Well, they surely do. The same kind of, I mean, you know, small lots with small backyards and other property has essentially the extraordinary conditions that are identified for this one. I don't know what the procedure of the board has been or how comfortable people are stepping outside those strict rules. Any other thoughts on that?
Don, you have any questions? Comment?
No, not really.
Lionel?
No, but other than the fact that that's why we're here as a board to grant extraordinary kind of condition things.
Right. See, my
Well-
concern about that shed was that if there's flooding, will that impede the flow of water? Not only off their property, but I didn't know where that water was draining to. And, you know, where does the pond that's there, I guess it's a combination of retention and detention. So it normally has water in it, correct?
No, well, no, sir. It hardly ever has water in it until it rains.
Till it rains. All right.
Yeah.
And okay. Has there been water up in your yard because of the pond overflowing since you've
No,
lived there?
sir. It has a overflow and also a pipe running back to the drainage ditch, and it's 3 houses down from me, I believe. No, I've never had any water in my yard whatsoever. I've never had water behind my house between my ditch and the drainage shed. Never been any standing water.
Yeah, so that, let me ask another question of you while we're back to asking you questions. So there's a big swale back there, and from the front, I drove by and looked, and you
Right.
can't really see how far up that swale goes. But I'm presuming that, is it fair to presume that that shed is not in fact in the swale, that it's on more or less level ground?
Right. It's inside my fence, which is level land, and my backyard is sloped so that when I did the landscaping, I made sure that my yard was sloped enough to get the water off my property and back to the ditch.
But
through that. Go ahead.
But that deep swale, that you can see, if you go down a couple houses from you, you can look up the end of that, and you're seeing a fairly deep swale.
Oh, it is.
Steep edges. That's behind where the shed is, right?
That's a good ways behind, probably 15 to 20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. And which way does the water go? Does it flow towards the golf course?
No, sir. It flows out to the same creek that runs along the golf course in the front by the clubhouse.
Right.
There's a name for this creek. I cannot think of the name of the creek, but it flows into that creek.
Okay. That's where I thought it was going. Okay. Any other discussion? Any other questions? There's only 4 of the board members here, right?
No, we have our full complement of 5.
Okay. All right. Who's the 5th one?
As I said earlier,
We can't
we have
hear
John
it, right?
Witherspoon, who's new,
Right.
John Thermos, who's new, and then obviously Don, Lionel, and yourself.
So Witherspoon, we can't hear, correct? We
You
can't
should be
see.
able to hear. Can you hear?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't think he actually had voiced a specific question once we started discussion.
Okay.
No, John kind of addressed what I had noticed looking at the ordinance, the variance. It didn't seem to meet all the conditions, but looking at the engineering report and the fact that the structure's been there for a number of years, it seemed like it wouldn't be a burden to other properties. So that was the only question that I had as well.
All right. I guess we should just proceed to a vote then, correct?
Yes, if there's no
We've got
further
a motion
discussion.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No.
It'd be nice if we could see everybody at the same time. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Let's.
You want me to do
proceed.
a roll call?
Yes, please. That'll be a lot easier.
All right. John Thermos,
Aye.
Don Nye,
Aye.
John Witherspoon,
Aye.
Lionel Lawson.
Aye.
Thank you. And Dennis Chiklis.
Aye. I approve. Okay.
That is unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Go on to-
John. I will have the order hopefully done this week, maybe, for Dennis to sign, and then we'll get that over to you, and it'll be all official.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Mr. Linu.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you now.
We do have one more item on the agenda to address. That would be the election of officers under miscellaneous. We do take nominations for chairman and vice chairman. As I noted earlier, Dennis is the current chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and we can open this up for discussion if anybody, or nominations, if anybody would like to go ahead and take the reins.
I would nominate Denny to continue being chairman. He's done fine for several years.
I would second that.
I'd nominate Don to be vice chair.
I wouldn't do that.
I would.
All right. So Don, you nominated Dennis for chairman, and I think I heard a second from John Witherspoon.
Yes.
And then I think I heard John Thermos nominate Don Nye for vice chair.
And I second that. Dennis seconds it.
All right. We can take these individually, or if there are alternatives, we can open that up for any discussion that you may have for chairman.
Can I move that nominations be closed? Would that be appropriate?
If you, I believe so.
Yeah.
The nominations be approved.
That too, I guess.
Well, I
Okay,
would
so
second that.
we closed discussion. So why don't we take the first one for Ms. Chiklis to remain chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I will go ahead and do that roll call again. So that would be John Thermos,
Aye.
Don Nye,
Aye.
John Witherspoon,
Aye.
Lionel Lawson,
Aye.
and Dennis.
Aye.
Excellent. Dennis, you are chairman once again. And for the second, for vice chair, the nomination is for Mr. Don Nye. We'll run through that roll call again. John Thermos.
Aye.
Don Nye.
Can I get back to you on that?
You don't, it
can
doesn't
vote
have to be
against, so-
unanimous.
Okay, I'll do aye.
Excellent. John Witherspoon.
Aye.
Thank you. Lionel Lawson.
Aye.
And Dennis.
Aye.
Excellent. So, Don Nye, congratulations. You are now vice chairman.
Moving up in the world.
Do they get ribbons or badges or anything?
We
We
get
don't
twice
even
as
get,
much
we don't
pay.
even get nameplates, which would be awesome. But
Our salary is double than the other members.
There you go.
Sweet.
lining their pockets, to say the least. At this point in time, we have come to the end of our agenda. I would entertain, or I'll allow Mr. Chiklis to entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All right. I'm not going to do a roll call for that. You guys can all say aye and sign off.
Aye.
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 Thank you all for your
Thank you
time.
all.
Appreciate it.
Nice to
Thank
have met
you.
these new members.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us,
Nice
new
getting
members.
with you guys. Nice
John
meeting you.
and John. And
You
Smith.
too.
Nice
Have a
meeting
good
Pleasure to
week.
meet you. Hope to see you face to face one of these days.
you. Yeah, I hope so.
Me too.
In time. In
All
time.
right.
Dennis,
Yeah.
the headphone makes a big difference, Dennis, by the way, makes a big difference.
Oh, I see myself right now. Yeah, it works.
And
Thank you.
and I can hear you very, very clearly.
Yes, it was very helpful.
All right.
Yeah, it's all done on the iPad. And I've had problems with my home computer, and this really works good.
Great. I'm glad to hear that.
Good.
So everybody have a good night.
Thanks.
We'll see you next
Thanks,
week, next month.
Later,
Thank
gents.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.